Sup everybody, it's your boy Corey, aka GQ Saint, back from a reaction video. This video dropped yesterday, meant to react to it, but I had some stuff to take care of. Anyway, decided to do this right now early in the morning. This Assassin's Creed Mirage review. So definitely curious about this. I know the game pretty sure already dropped, people doing walkthroughs of it. Me personally, have a chance to get it yet, but I think about getting it. I just want to get if it goes back to connect to more to the original roots of Assassin's Creed. Cause like I said, some of the past Assassin's Creed, like I said, pretty sure Odyssey. I wasn't a big fan because I didn't even get the game. It just the concept of it didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game at all. It didn't feel like it. And the same film was somewhat wild. I remember what I traded for Valhalla, but when I played a little bit, yeah, it just really does feel like Assassin's Creed game. Like they kind of switched more. Some people, I think one person made a comment, they could switch more to close to the RPG stuff compared. I saw what the ratio go Origins, so I like Origins. Yeah, but I saw what they were going with for the next two games. Feel like more of an RPG stuff. Like you gotta be kidding me. Like it just didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed, but judged by the trailers I seen, Mirage like they're going back to more what the Assassins are, like the roots of it. So which I definitely 100% support. So anyway, let's go and see IGN's review. The most time to be spot on about the reviews. I need to check Metacritic as well. Cause Metacritic is wow. It's definitely the top tier, game reviews, especially when it comes to gaming. So anyway, you already know. Special question up a comment below. Let me know what you're at to. Let's go on and get it.
Not everyone loved Ubisoft's approach. During the same year the first iPhone was released and Prince played Purple Rain at a halftime show where it literally rained, another bit of culture was changed forever.
I think that is true.
Assassin's Creed was
released.
Definitely. Not everyone loved Ubisoft's
Assassin's
approach to
Creed
stealth
was
and
definitely one of the first Xbox games I actually got for
this
myself.
game was onto something. In the 15-plus years since, its many sequels traded stealth for something far bigger and flashier, but lost sight of the very spirit of how it began. Assassin's Creed Mirage takes a lot of important, imperfect steps to get back to its roots. It's not the most ambitious of games, but it does restore hope that there's still room for a version of Assassin's Creed that we haven't seen in almost a decade.
Yeah, and that's a problem with Odyssey and Valhalla.
Stealth is king again in Mirage. Ubisoft has done away with XP and levels entirely, meaning every enemy is just a hidden blade away from doom if you play your cards right. It's refreshing to approach a scenario and weigh options for tackling it based on its many moving parts, rather than simply considering if the loot is worth it.
Uni has some camera angle problems. I actually like they had some of the best parkour
the threat of fighting multiple enemies at once is so daunting that using sharp timing in the environment is a necessity. Even more than in the pre-Origins games, it's important to make vigorous use of precariously hanging dock supplies or conveniently place spice bags to cause enough chaos to cover your moves. Our character for this relatively short Assassin's Creed adventure is Basim, Eivor's mysterious frenemy from Valhalla. He's fine, but after over 20 hours spent learning the leading man's history, it hasn't really made him more interesting most of the time. His origins as a plucky cutpurse with a heart of gold turned vengeful assassin feels like the most fast-forwarded Hidden One story in the series.
It is no inconvenience to stand up to our oppressors as the
this is a younger version, so not the same voice actor.
He's trust-falling into haystacks and chopping his own finger off.
Yeah, cause that was
By the end, it's still a mystery how this guy became the scheming triple-crosser
they switched
we
just,
ago.
Branding.
That said, Basim's story is far shorter and more linear than those of the recent Witcher 3-inspired games, and the adventure is better for it.
These are not strong leads, but they are a start nonetheless.
Your main tasks start on the investigation board, a web of leads and clues that all point towards the main targets. Solving smaller issues often lead you to bigger reveals, which in turn take you further and further up the chain until you get to take another stab at the big conspiracy that's causing all this commotion. Admittedly, the board makes things feel more open-ended than they truly are, but breaking the stories into little chunks that keep expectations clear and concise does wonders for the pacing of a game like this.
Of course, when he came to us, he was little more than a common thief, scrambling to survive on the streets of Baghdad.
Though it is more focused, Basim's quest is pretty lackluster in relation to the other games in the series when it comes to surprises and twists.
Something big is happening soon. I do not know what.
Save for maybe the final 4 or so hours, his hunt to track down members of the villainous Order of the Ancients is rather basic and predictable. Each of them and their flunkies are staunchly, almost cartoonishly evil without any nuance, and are a disappointing reminder that we haven't had another big bad as complex as Haytham Kinway or as cackling mad as Rodrigo Borgia in years. With the exception of Basim's own master Roshan, brought to life expertly by Shohreh Aghdashloo's distinctively smoky voice,
your day to display your prowess will come, but this day belongs to Basim.
The supporting cast of Mirage is no more than adequate, both as characters and in their performances.
Seek me out when your voice begins to break. Then we will talk.
Among the best characters, though, is the city of Baghdad. The different districts, from the dense, bustling heart and the round city to the dusty slums in Karkh, feel busy and lived in a way that hasn't been present in the series in a while. It's full of busy streets, full of people to blend in with,
the
and
old
city blocks with
I used
open
to love
homes you
doing
can
that
sprint through while
so
eluding
much.
pursuers. Things you'll be doing a lot thanks to
I'm glad
Mirage's
they improved in
notoriety
Assassin's
system.
Creed 2.
It's a
I did
throwback to the Ezio
pickpocketing
days
so
that
many
scales up
times.
the efforts to take you down based on how many beehives you're kicking around town.
Hey, you! Pause a moment.
Someone cut my pen!
It gets very tough to escape guards' lines of sight simply by running. If you can't hide, removing wanted posters and paying off town criers can help to clear your name.
I need to get rid of these.
That said, there are no singular moments or landscapes in Mirage that really make a big impression like the Great Pyramids in Origins or Athena's statue in Odyssey. On the whole though, the golden rolling dunes and tropical oases are beautiful, and the city and its suburbs have plenty of alleys and nooks to explore if collectible hunting is your thing. Ubisoft's renewed focus on a smaller region has allowed it to flesh out more of the details, and that's a win.
I agree.
Another thing that really shines in Mirage is your set of tools, especially when you upgrade them to increase effect ranges or have dramatic additional effects. This one dissolves the bodies of anyone you kill with a throwing knife, destroying all evidence of the
I love
deed.
doing that in Assassin's
Realistic?
Creed.
No, but extremely useful.
Assassin's Creed 2 and 3.
Basim also has a special stealth kill combo ability that functions almost like Deadeye in Red Dead Redemption. It's powerful, but balanced by the need to charge a special meter by performing quiet kills the old-fashioned way, and that it can only be activated when you're anonymous. The locations you infiltrate here aren't exactly better or more interesting than we've seen in recent years, though. If you've slunk through one hardened location in an Assassin's Creed game, you'll be well equipped for the sorts of hallways, underground docks, and fortified walls you'll need to tackle here. Guards are still pretty easy to manipulate and lack basic self-preservation skills when spotting any uncovered corpses you leave behind. It makes up for a lot that there are some new and returning ways to sneak into and soften up the fortifications. Bribing a merchant to let you pretend you're one of their helpers delivering goods is a great way to saunter through a gate you wouldn't be allowed in otherwise. In a later section, many different parties are congregating in the courtyard of a wealthy target's manor, and helping a group of indentured people riot against their captor can cause enough of a commotion to lure the big man into a trap. That sort of approach makes the world feel more alive and real, and takes cues from fellow stealth assassination games like Hitman. When you have no choice but to openly scrap,
I love that
combat
kick
is
up.
more limited than it's been in recent games, but still challenging.
I think it went from my was pressing fight choreography
Basim
one
only
day.
has one
I actually
style,
did a kick
using
up.
a sword and dagger
Like,
to become a spinning
well,
dervish of
sweet.
death by weaving quick and heavy strikes together for short combos. You can switch between many types of swords and daggers, each having unique combat abilities you can mix and match, but the differences between them is rarely so impactful that they'd make you want to change up your playstyle around them. However, it's easy to see a scenario where some fully upgraded weapons and armor sets could be more vital at a higher difficulty than the standard one. The pace of combat is
Nice
jarringly
swords. I love
slower and
swords.
more deliberate than we've become accustomed
Still
to,
my favorite sword to
especially
this day
coming
is
from
the
Valhalla's bevy
katana.
of weapon types and special attacks. But
I
Mirage
watched several
certainly has its
videos
charms.
of how
There's
it's
heavy
forged the
emphasis on
traditional
counters
way.
and dodging incoming attacks,
Those swords, too,
enforced by
especially
the
in Japan,
sometimes
those swords
erratic
tend to
attack
last
patterns from
longer.
enemies mixed with the high damage they do in melee.
And some of the other videos, I don't
Attackers
even
don't
watch
wait
them
for the
making
friends to be
katana on a
cut down
wrestling
before
channel.
taking
I
their
don't
turn
watch
to come
those
at you,
videos.
so you often need to avoid multiple swings at once, and engaging more than 2 or 3 guards at a time can be oppressive. There are very few enemy types, but the saving grace is that regular and heavy soldiers can vary slightly based on the weapons they have. You always have to be aware and adjust
That does
accordingly,
make sense.
and I never found myself wanting for new challenges.
I used to hate fighting those big dudes in Assassin's Creed 2 when they
introduced
introduced them.
Combat feels like
All
the
big
biggest
dudes,
change
heavy
that's
set
unique
armor
to
with the
this
heavy
game,
swords and
it
stuff,
works
and
very
they can
well.
even knock your sword away.
Another thing that's been scaled back and focused is Mirage's ability tree. The 3 branches are focused on killing, scouting, and gadgets, but they only have 7 skills apiece to unlock, but each one has a much more dramatic impact on how you'll want to play. Some simply help you do the things you can already do, but better. Some feel like features that existed by default in older games, but they're all worth the skill point they cost. And there's no commitment since you can respec all of these points at any time for free. You're only ever a couple of minutes away from a new character build.
Okay, what's the verdict?
Assassin's Creed Mirage's return to the stealthy style that launched this series doesn't do everything right, but everything it does feels like it was done with purpose. This means a shorter game with a smaller map, fewer collectibles, smaller scope in combat, and a limited selection
they had to
of
go
gear to
back
play
to the
with,
old drawing
all of
board,
which is
so that's
refreshing
understandable.
relative to the arguably bloated scale of 100-hour games like Odyssey and Valhalla. It also means an overly simplistic plot with mostly forgettable characters. But what the story lacks in depth, it makes up for with its straightforward quest progression and fast pacing. Though there's no big standout wow moment, Baghdad is a beautiful location in its own right, and the world's detail is focused inward, making every alley and hovel feel well-traveled and full of detail and history. It's easy to recommend Mirage to anyone who's lapsed on Assassin's Creed, as its back-to-basics approach is a successful first step in returning the feeling that the earlier industry-defining
It was
games
on
gave
PS4
us
too. Interesting.
so
I thought it
long
was gonna
ago.
be PS5.
For more, check out our reviews of Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty and Lies of P.
Yeah, so I agree, especially with, you know, what they stated earlier. Plus, I think Metacritic, they gave it to the, I'm gonna say to the mid to high 80s review as well too. So yeah.
And for everything else, stick with IGN.
So do I agree? Yeah, I agree, especially with the points he made. Okay, pretty cool video. So, like I said, this is their own personal view, especially, you know, this their Ubisoft tend to, you know, bring back Assassin's Creed back to, like I said, like, you know, to the roots that we love, trying to get a whole mythology, fancy RPG style, because that's what it felt like. Definitely moving on, especially for Odyssey, it felt like moving on to more RPG stuff as well too, especially when I watch walkthroughs of, especially for romantic interest, but further detail. Some of those romances were pretty much all for nothing. And found out Cassandra, which is actually the true main protagonist, not Alessios. Alessios, yeah. So anyway, that she's actually the ancestor of Amunet. They say you don't know Amunet, yes, you should look up. That's what she used to be by his wife before she changed her name. You know, after she changed her name. I remember reading that name in Assassin's Creed too. So okay, this is ominous. So it explains more in detail a lot. And one thing I actually definitely, the main part I liked about one part I definitely want to point out that I like, and honestly that I saw when it was doing DLC, the first blade. So we finally saw Darius, which is used a hidden blade. He actually used a hidden blade actually like this, come upper instead of under. So yeah. So anyway, let me know how you feel about the video. You guys pretty much agree, disagree with it. Anyway, let me know how you feel about it. Make sure you give a boy a like, comment, and subscribe. And fantastic day. Peace.